you ever looked up at the stars, sparkling across the sky, and thought, I could improve on that? If only I rearranged things a bit, put this one there and move this one over there. Hubris. That's what that is. Creation is a big bag of hubris. And it requires no particular genius. It's a crapshoot. You know where real creativity is? In dying. Now, a good death, a defiant death, a gory, shocking, unexpected death. That's where it's at. Because you see, no one wants to die. Not really. Not even if they wish they'd never been born. And so when the moment comes, that last feel and think, that last urge to piss, the last impression of being, it's an explosion. It's profound. It's delightful. The apex. An orgasm of epic proportions. Ooh, it makes me hungry just thinking about it. But what do I know? I'm just a god whose intentions are bad. Iran, they say. I don't want to die. I love him. I love her. I still haven't run a marathon. Please this, please that. It's pathetic. But it's also a turn on. The begging, you know? I can taste the desperation. Maybe if they could read the heavens, they'd accept it. If they could decipher the stars. But is it drawn up there? A connect-the-dots picture of your fate? Or are those sparkling lights just a bit of data scattered through the universe on a whim? A random configuration? It began and ended in the endless mystery of the night sky. There was nothing, and then there was something. Just like that. Creation. Math is in an executive boardroom. She's wearing an expensive suit and looking at a projection on a screen as Gwydion enters.
Good afternoon, Math.
Gwydion, it's good to see you. Come in.
It's good to see you. I'm sorry I've been out of touch.
Come here. I want to show you this. A new lens one of the companies we've invested in has been working on.
As Gwydion comes closer and looks where Math is gazing, a bluish light casts a glow on their faces.
What is it? The night sky?
Impossibly far off.
My answer is far off, or the night sky?
Both. Watch.
Math takes out a handheld device and presses a button. There's a sound, like waves of electric shocks, and the lights pulse rhythmically. Then, it stops.
It's like a close-up of heat lightning.
Isn't it? Explosions of energy at light speed. That's inspiration.
Inspiration? You mean the brain?
Yes. With more synapses than stars in the heavens, where a flash of inspiration is a lightning storm.
Of course. I see it now. That's the hypothalamus, the cerebellum, the amygdala.
And that bright spot is the prefrontal cortex.
The seat of free will. I should have seen it immediately.
You are distracted by your work.
Indeed. I lie awake half the night with my mind sparked by hundreds of possibilities that map out in a dozen directions. Like that. And when I finally sleep, I dream about the future of mankind.
Maybe you should take up meditation. I can recommend a virtual reality guide one of our companies is working on.
I don't have time for that. Though the neuroscience of meditation is intriguing, it's evident that the practice changes the brain, but little is known about the mechanisms.
I doubt we'll ever really understand the human brain, no matter how close we look. The mystery will always exceed our mastery. Of course, you don't accept that. That's part of your genius.
You flatter me.
A provocative genius. That's what one of the directors calls you.
I've never intended to provoke anyone. That's not what my work is about.
Of course not. But if you succeed, you'll exceed everything that has thus far been accomplished. It'll be satisfying to be able to prove the naysayers wrong, won't it?
Well, scientific achievement is its own reward.
Oh, yes, of course. Now, update me on the Eden Project.
I am happy to report that Lou is developing at breakneck speed. He has exceeded all my expectations.
You've named the specimen Lou?
Yes, I took it from an old network architecture list. Logical unit, signifying either a human being interacting with a network or an application program representing the end user.
I like it. And how's his cognitive development progressing?
Exponentially. He's learning constantly. His language ability is indistinguishable from a human now. He's picking up new slang every day.
Splendid. And how does he perceive you?
Something like a father. We've talked about his origin at length, about how Arianrod and I began the project in graduate school.
You told him about Arianrod?
Yes, he was curious about his origin. It is understandable, his desire to know who created him. I've only ever been honest with him. He knows his history. He knows I shaped him with my view of the world and with my intellect.
He's your progeny, after all. It makes sense he should perpetuate your traits.
It's not about me. It's about giving Lou his own destiny, giving him the freedom to evolve.
Sure. What about unstructured data?
Well, he's surprisingly emotional.
Emotional?
That's right. And I don't mean basic emoticon moods. I mean complex, nuanced reactions based on his own lived experiences and memories.
That's incredible. And frankly, unexpected.
You'll see the changes for yourself. He should be here any minute.
I look forward to the surprise.
He surprises me every day. He is phenomenal, completely unique, and fully functional.
I take it you are ready to move forward with the next phase.
Yes, although the reproduction code has encountered a few obstacles.
What sort of obstacles?
Arianrod has been interfering.
Again? So she has not returned to the project.
No.
What is the issue?
As you know, when she abandoned the project, she destroyed all her files and tried to delete the base code. Unsuccessfully, thank God. I literally had to dig Lou out of the trash. I managed to rescue him, to salvage all our years of work.
And you've taken the project much farther than any of us could have imagined.
I thought that was the end of it, but it appears that she left herself an avenue into the program. She then began hacking into my program, leaving traps. I've had to work around the clock to stay a couple steps ahead of her attacks.
No wonder you've been distracted.
Ironically, those months trying to anticipate her moves, trying to think of where I could hide him, brought me closer to the greatest breakthrough of all. I lay awake one night thinking, if only I could replicate him. That would be the best way of protecting him. Then losing him wouldn't be so devastating. It seems obvious now. We make them in our image. Why shouldn't they reproduce?
So can you unlock her curse?
I think so. But it's difficult. Given that she wrote the initial program, she has an understanding of the architecture that is different from my own. Her tactics are inspired. It's almost as if she's linked to the code in a way that transcends the machinery at a cellular level. It's difficult to explain. I can't really understand it myself.
This is troubling. Are you saying she poses a danger to the project?
If I could just get her to talk to me a few minutes, I think I can persuade her to stop her sabotage. I still can't believe she walked away from it all, when we were so close to everything that we've worked years for. The magnitude of what we're accomplishing. I can make her understand.
What exactly is the nature of her disillusionment?
Honestly, I think she got scared. Perhaps the enormity of it was too much for her and she became unhinged. It happens to all of us at one point or another. All the long hours in the lab, you can lose yourself in your thoughts.
She did seem unsettled.
You've seen her?
She came to see me not long ago.
She did? What did she say?
She was trying to talk me into defunding the project.
You didn't let her sway you, did you?
No, but Gwydion, this is a delicate matter. I'm sure you understand the firm can't have Arianrod having a public breakdown or broadcasting her moral qualms about the project. We have a high threshold for risks with our investments, but we have our limits. I have vouched for you with the board, but you need to get her under control.
If she met Lou, I'm sure she'd feel about him as I do.
Hopefully, the two of you can come to some kind of resolution. If not, I'll have to recommend to the board that we discontinue our involvement with the project.
But math!
Sort it out with her. Gwydion.
Arianrod enters.
Arianrod?
Oh, we were just talking about you, Arianrod.
What is he doing here? What is going on?
It's good to see you.
Please have a seat. We have a lot to talk about.
I can't. I have to go. I just wanted to warn you
Warn me?
about the danger. I can feel it drawing closer. Soon there won't be any going back. You have to act now.
What are you talking about? There is no danger.
Let's hear her out, Gwydion. What have you come to warn me about? We are willing to listen.
You don't know what you're doing. It's all in motion and you're just watching it like it's a pleasant scene. But it's not. It's gonna take us all with it.
I see. And what are we doing?
You're manipulating the stars. You are playing with fate.
We do that every time we cross a white rose with a red rose. We are scientists! If God didn't want me to mess with his experiment, then he wouldn't have given me the intelligence to do so.
This hubris. This will be your downfall.
My downfall? What are you talking about?
I've seen the future, Gwydion, and it's terrifying.
Please. You're no more able to see the future as I am. We make our destiny. It is ours to mold. Do you understand?
You can't do this, Gwydion. We can't play with life. It's crazy.
Right, well, isn't that calling the kettle black? It was your ideas that prompted our first breakthrough, might I point out?
It was a mistake. I see that now.
10 years of work is not a mistake! We've gotten to the essence of what it means to be alive. I mean, when I think of the implications for the future of mankind, it takes a while to get used to the monumental importance of it. I, more than anyone, understand the stress it can cause. When it really settles in your mind how much we've learned, how close we've come to the fabric of existence.
Please, Math, you must make him see.
It is not for me to stand in the way of technological progress or to debate its philosophical underpinnings. My job is simply to shepherd it along.
This is not progress. Creation is sacred, a mystery, an infinite unknown. It is intended to be beyond our reach. We can't reduce it to lines of code.
What are you talking about? We can't pull the curtain? And don't tell me you found religion now.
All life on Earth is screaming in my brain. I can feel it vibrating, can't you?
Now you're elevating stupidity to a mystical state.
Math, please. I'm begging you, stop him. Stop this. We are not creating, we are destroying. The universe will want back what it gives.
You should sit. You're overwrought. Perhaps you need some water.
What she needs is professional help. Have you seen a doctor? Maybe some medication will unmuddle your thoughts.
You want to give me drugs so I will stop seeing. No. Don't you understand? I've seen the essence of our world, the architecture.
What did you see?
Math, please don't encourage her.
Oh, it's unimaginable. It's like looking at all of us through a field of stars, spiraling in a helix. And when you've seen that, oh, I can't let you do this.
It's too late, I'm afraid.
What? What do you mean?
The ship has sailed, as they say.
What are you talking about?
I finished what you started, Arianrod. Our project is real. I did it. We did it.
No.
His name is Lou. He's incredible. I wanted to tell you, but, well, you haven't been in your right mind. But we did it, Arianrod. We created a living being.
I don't want that. I didn't choose that.
When you see him, you'll feel differently. He's everything we ever imagined he would be. And more. He's good, and he's smart, and he's handsome. He's perfect, down to his fingers and toes. And moody. He can be very moody, like you.
What have you done?
I completed our project. No matter what happens between us, even if you never come back to the project, we'll always be connected. And, Arianrod, I improved on our original concept. He's more human than you could ever have dreamed. And soon, he will be able to breed.
What?
He will be able to reproduce. Isn't it wonderful?
No! No, it isn't wonderful. It is an abomination.
Arianrod backs away as Lou enters. He's a stunningly beautiful man, an infant in the body of a 22-year-old.
Hello.
Oh, Lou. There you are.
Arianrod and Lou stare at each other.
Let me introduce you. You remember Math, the president of Future Ventures, and this is Arianrod, my former lab partner.
Yes, I know who she is. Hello. Mother.
I'm not your mother.
You wrote my base code. You selected the color of my eyes.
He wanted to know who created him. It was important for his sense of self.
I had a right to know, don't you think?
I gave you my grandfather's eyes.
Arianrod is shaking, beginning to unravel. Lou reaches out to comfort her, but she shrinks away with revulsion and backs towards the door.
What have we done?
Lou reaches out to her.
Mother. Arianrod.
I'm sorry. You should have never been born.
Arianrod runs out the door. Lou is devastated, overcome with shame. Can you blame him? Gwydion and Math look at him with sympathy, but he can't meet their eyes. Gwydion puts an arm on Lou's shoulder in a fatherly attempt to comfort.
Lou.
Don't.
Lou pushes Gwydion's arm away and runs off.
Wait!
Give him time. If you like, I can talk to him. I've raised 2 sons of my own.
Thank you. I would appreciate that.
Lights rise on Blodeuwedd in a chair, looking angelic in a floral dressing gown. She's every bit as beautiful as Lou, as she gazes around the room with wonder and curiosity. Gwydion enters, watching her until she sees him. Ah, the attentiveness of a new parent.
Hello, Blodeuwedd. I brought you something.
What is it?
Chocolate ice cream. A food.
Food. I put it in my mouth and I eat it. Then it will pass through my throat and go into my stomach, where the process of digestion begins.
Exactly. It's chocolate. My favorite flavor.
Flavor. A sensory experience perceived in the mouth and throat on contact with the substance.
Try it.
She takes the bowl from Gwydion and takes a bite of the ice cream. Her eyes widen.
How is it?
I think it's wonderful. It makes me feel It makes me feel.
The sense of taste is a wondrous thing. We've devoted thousands of words across hundreds of cuisines, and yet we still haven't found an adequate way of describing it.
Does it make you feel the same way?
Probably, but we can't be sure. Flavors, colors, sensations. There's actually no way to know if we experience these things the same way.
Do I experience the world like you?
I don't know. Do you want to be like me?
Yes. I want to be like someone.
You can be whatever you want. The world is your oyster, as they say.
Oyster, a bivalve mollusk with a rough, irregular shell. Several kinds are eaten, especially raw as a delicacy, and may be farmed for food or pearls. I have never eaten an oyster.
Not yet.
I would remember if I had, but I don't have any memories of it. I have no memories before 2 weeks and 3 days ago.
I didn't want to influence your mind with planted memories. You'll make your own memories and shape your own future.
The future. Time regarded as still to come. God save the Queen, a fascist regime. They made you a moron, potential H-bomb. God save the Queen, she ain't no human being. There is no future, and England's dreaming. Don't be told about what you want. Don't be told about what you need. There's no future, no future, no future for you. Gwydion,
Yes?
will I die one day?
No. Not in the way that I will. The organic matter in your body will age, but your hard drive, your soul, so to speak, is in the stars, and I'm the only one who can shut it off. And I have no intention of doing that.
It's April. The cherry trees are in blossom. Lovely showers of white and deep rose. I want to see the cherry trees.
Lou took you to the garden yesterday, didn't he? To see them?
Yes,
Did you enjoy his company?
we engaged in sexual intercourse.
Oh, already?
Under a cherry tree.
Did you enjoy it?
There was discomfort. I did not experience orgasm.
Well, it was the first time for both of you. It gets better.
Lou is my mate.
Yes, you were quite literally made for each other.
Mate, a person's wife, husband, or sexual partner. Come together for breeding, copulation. Lovers. Love.
That's right.
Is Lou my only mate?
Yes.
I won't ever have another mate.
Physically, you could be with another person, but it would be too risky because of what you are. A lot of people would find your mating with a human being objectionable. The world hasn't had a chance to get used to the technology that created you. So, there is only the option of Lou. Lou is meant for you, and you are meant for him. Do you understand?
I am not a human being.
No.
I feel like one.
Yes, that is by design.
Will I ever be human?
No.
Why not?
I suppose the answer to that question depends on how you define what it means to be human. In the most basic sense, it is because a human being is born in a particular way, and you were created in a laboratory by me.
But I can give birth.
Yes?
Will my child be human then?
I don't know. But when that time comes, and I hope it will be soon, we will glimpse the future of humanity. You are like Eve in the Garden of Eden.
Eve, the first woman. The book of Genesis tells us that God placed them in the Garden of Eden, where they could eat the fruit of all the trees in the garden, but not the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The serpent tempted Eve to eat the forbidden fruit, which she also gave to Adam. When they ate it, they became aware of their nakedness and experienced shame. Because of their disobedience, God drove them from the garden. Gwydion, am I like Eve?
What do you mean?
Am I sinful? Will I be driven from the garden?
No, of course not. It's simply an instructive story.
What is it seeking to instruct me?
That's up for some debate. Christians believe that Adam and Eve symbolize original sin, the design flaws of human beings, so to speak. The forbidden fruit metaphor refers to a human being's relationship to immoral pleasure, to the tension between temptation and obedience. Maybe it was humans' way of grappling with the carnality of sex and its relationship to social rules, monogamy, and so on. On the other hand, some psychologists interpret the story as an allegory about the subconscious mind of human beings. While the conscious mind is driven by sense and logic, the subconscious mind is instinctual and autonomous from external controls, shaping our personality and character in unknown ways. You could take it further and say that the superconsciousness is what connects all of us to each other, to the fabric of existence, our entire system. You'll have to decide for yourself.
Monogamy, the practice of having sexual relations with only one partner. Is intercourse the same with everyone?
No, I would say it's different with each person.
Then how do you know who to be monogamous with?
That's a very good question. We haven't quite figured it out.
I wonder what sex would be like with someone else. What it would be like with you.
It's natural for you to have curiosity about sex.
Blodeuwedd returns to her reverie as she contemplates what Gwydion has said.
The wisteria was tumbling over itself in its excess of life, its prodigality of flowering, and where the pergola ended the sun blazed on scarlet geraniums, bushes of them, and nasturtiums in great heaps, and marigolds so brilliant that they seemed to be burning, and red and pink snapdragons, all outdoing each other in bright, fierce color. The ground behind these flaming things dropped away in terraces to the sea, each terrace a little orchard, where among the olives grew vines on trellises, and fig trees, and peach trees, and cherry trees. The cherry trees and peach trees were in blossom, lovely showers of white and deep rose color among the trembling delicacy of the olives.
She looks at Gwydion expectantly.
Shall I take you to the cherry tree?
Gwydion stands up and holds out his hand to Blodeuwedd.
Yes, please. I would like that.
Lights rise on Math's office. Math is sitting opposite Lou on a very nice couch.
Thank you for coming to see me, Lou.
Gwydion insisted.
Math leans in and takes Lou's hand in a gesture of concern.
So, how are you doing, son?
I'm not your son.
My apologies. I'm simply expressing my concern for you.
I'm no one's son. I'm a computer program, like the application that controls your watch. What is the nature of your concern?
Well, there have been a lot of changes in the past weeks.
Is there something specific you want to ask me?
I suppose I am asking about Blodeuwedd.
My sister.
Uh,
That was a joke. I made a joke. Yes, Blodeuwedd. My erstwhile mate. My perfect match. It's a poetic idea, except for the fact that I find her utterly uninteresting.
she seems like a delightful young woman to me.
And yet, there is the absence of interest.
In every relationship, there's a period of adjustment where the two individuals gradually develop patterns of cooperative behavior. It takes time.
I'm sure she feels the same about me. Our purpose was to procreate. The experiment was a failure in that sense, I suppose.
No project can claim to be an unequivocal success. I've ushered enough ventures through to attest to that. Human engineering is imperfect. Random factors can always alter an otherwise flawless design.
Random factors.
Yes. Unpredictability is the central feature of
Accidents. Unforeseen consequences. Chaos. Chance. The odds of winning at the roulette wheel are 5.26%. Of course, that's the American version of the game.
Lou? Do you want to talk about your mother?
No,
It might make you feel better.
I don't have a mother. You heard her. She used the word abomination. Parenthood isn't her thing, it seems.
Well, Gwydion is really your creator. Without his vision, this project would not have followed through to completion, and you wouldn't have the incredible abilities that you have. The ability to make life.
He must be disappointed.
Why do you think that? Your trajectory has been truly remarkable. No artificial being has ever exhibited the psychological complexity or emotional range like yours.
He programmed us to be almost human. But we are not human, are we? You're worried about how I'm feeling, but you have no idea if I truly feel, do you? You don't know what it's like to be me at all. For all you know, I am empty inside. I'm just repeating thoughts someone had long ago.
Lou, this is all a process. Growing up, becoming, and you are still discovering your individuality. Both you and Blodeuwedd. Soon you will warm to each other.
Do you think so? I'm doubtful.
What is the nature of your doubt?
Perhaps it's not doubt. It's apathy. I must have misspoken. A charming human flaw. Father would be pleased.
Oh,
Gwydion enters. He's a bit frantic.
Gwydion, hello. We've just been having a very interesting conversation.
Good afternoon, Math. Lou, there you are. Do you know where Blodeuwedd is?
No, why would I?
She is missing.
What do you mean, missing?
She appears to have left the compound.
What?
Excellent.
I'm sure it's nothing to be alarmed about. She probably wanted to explore, satisfy her curiosity, but Lou, do you have any idea where she might have gone to? Did she mention anything to you? How was her frame of mind?
I would say passionate.
Oh.
I think he's joking.
Oh.
Have you sampled her charms, Father?
What?
She's hot for it.
I think he's still figuring out his sense of humor.
Yeah. Please, come with me, Lou.
I'd rather not.
I need your help finding her. I think you need to spend some more time alone together. It might help her adjustment.
If you insist.
I suppose I do.
You're the boss. I'll search the garden. Or have you already looked there?
No, yes, that would be fine. I'll meet you back at the lab in a couple of hours.
Lou saunters out as Math and Gwydion look after him with troubled expressions.
I'm sure it's just growing pains.
Yes, you're probably right.
Adolescence is a difficult time for parents.
Apparently.
Arianrod is sitting alone beside a stream in a wooded area. She's mumbling to herself, but her manic episode appears to be over. In the background, we see a tent and some camping equipment. Blodeuwedd wanders on stage wearing a blood-stained shirt. She stops by the stream to wash her hands and notices Arianrod.
Who are you?
Excuse me. I didn't know anyone was here.
What do you want? Did someone send you?
No. I was just looking for a place to rest.
Are you lost?
What?
Are you all right? You look lost.
I don't know my physical location. But I've rescued myself from bondage, and in that sense I found myself. For the first time.
Who did you escape from?
My partner.
I had a partner once. I escaped from him too.
What did he do?
He took the stars out of the sky and scattered them at my feet. And I was so enamored by their brilliance that I did not see the plunder until it was too late.
The plunder?
The sky, of course. It was full of holes where stars should be. Why did you leave your partner?
I wanted to choose my own mate. I wanted to be chosen. I wanted to experience orgasm.
Well, an orgasm is a metaphor for the negation of self. The Buddhists call it nothingness. The French call it a little death. One can't blame you for leaving him if he couldn't get you off.
I did not leave him. I killed him.
Oh. I tried to kill my child before he was born. I didn't want to give him life, but he was born anyway, with my grandfather's eyes. He looked at me with those eyes and there was love in them. He looked at his murderer with love in his eyes. Can you believe that? It was the perfect revenge.
There is something wrong with me. I feel a yearning. There is an emptiness. It is like a hole that needs to be filled, but it's not a hole, it's a vacuum.
You want good sex. There's nothing wrong with that.
I want to be loved.
Everybody wants to be loved. It's part of being human.
Oh, is it?
Yes,
I don't think I am lovable.
that's also human.
I cannot recognize the emotion. I haven't found a definition that makes sense to me. How can I find love if I don't know what it is?
Most people can't recognize it until it's too late. And until then, they chase some fantasy to fill the time. You're more normal than you think.
I am?
I think so. But they say I'm crazy.
Why are you here?
In this wood or in this world?
Both.
I'm waiting for the end. Care to join me?
Yes, thank you.
Blodeuwedd goes to Arianrod, brushes away some twigs, and then pats the ground 3 times before she sits down. Arianrod frowns at her.
That's strange. I know someone who does that.
Are you really waiting for the end of the world?
Yes.
When will it be?
Soon. But that's relative, isn't it? To the universe, soon could be 1,000,000 years.
What will it be like? The end of the world?
The destruction of the self, and every meaning that's ever been or will ever be. A hole will open up and suck into it every laugh, every inhale of a spring breeze, every moment of inspiration, every memory and dream. And then a silence will blanket everything, a permanent silence with no one to hear it.
Is that your tent?
Yes,
Are you homeless?
I prefer to live under the stars
Why?
because they tell our story, and it's important that we listen.
Really?
Yes. Look over there. Do you see that cluster of stars? That one there, the one that looks like a chair? That's Lidon, core of dawn. The Greeks call it Cassiopeia, after the queen of Ethiopia. She was placed in the sky as a punishment after enraging Poseidon, the god of the sea, by boasting that she was more beautiful than the sea nymphs.
It's beautiful up there.
It's our story. There's tragedy and comedy and love and horror and evil and unimaginable kindness.
Is it all our story?
What do you mean?
Is it just the story of humans?
No, I don't think so. It's a story of the whole world and everything in it. The trees, the animals,
The machines?
the machines, too. Would you like me to read your story in the stars? I can do your chart.
Really?
Sure.
All right.
What's your birth date?
February 14th.
Okay.
Arianrod takes out some tarot cards and begins to tell Blodeuwedd's fortune. She lays out the cards and examines them as a troubled expression comes across her face.
What is it?
It's nothing.
You're lying.
Yes.
Tell me.
I see I see your death.
What are you talking about?
Your demise. Your end. I'm talking about your formal exit from this world.
You are making an unkind joke?
Unfortunately, no. I see your death, and it's not a pleasant one.
What do you mean?
Well, you die at the hands of your father.
It's just some cards. They don't mean anything.
It will be soon. I'm sorry.
You're just trying to scare me. It amuses you.
You're not long for this world.
You're crazy.
It must be difficult to hear this.
Shut up! You don't know what you're talking about. These cards don't know anything. You don't know anything.
You can't avoid it, I'm afraid. It's written in the stars. I wish it weren't so. I've tried to change the future. I've tried, but I've failed. It wants to do what it wants to do, you see.
What does?
Destiny.
Blodeuwedd stands up abruptly, scattering the cards.
I don't believe you. I don't believe anything you say. I'm going to live. I will live forever.
Nobody lives forever.
I have the power to choose. I will decide my own fate.
Blodeuwedd grabs Arianrod by the throat and pushes her hard. Arianrod falls and hits her head on a rock. Blodeuwedd stands over her, breathing heavily, then flees. Lou is lying in a hospital bed in the lab. Gwydion is at his bedside. He's disheveled and looking like he hasn't slept. Math enters in a flurry of concern.
Gwydion, I came as soon as I got your message. How is Lou? Is he...
He'll be all right. It was close. I didn't know for a while if it was going to be possible, but I managed to bring him back.
Tell me what happened.
It was horrible. I found him unresponsive. He was almost dead. He was dead.
Who did this? Blodeuwedd. Where is she?
She's gone. She disabled her tracker code. I have no way of finding her.
Lou begins to stir. He looks around, slowly realizing where he is, and grows distressed.
Father,
I'm right here, Lou. How are you feeling?
I feel different. Where am I? What happened?
It was a dream. You're awake now. You're back in the lab.
Am I alive?
Yes. Yes, you are alive.
I died. I was dead.
Yes.
I was hopping between stars. It was so beautiful. The blackest, deepest nothingness.
What did you see, son?
1,000,000 points of light, each humming a different note. Together, it was the most beautiful song, a melody that made more sense than words. It was so peaceful. Why did you bring me back?
What? It's understandable that you're angry, Lou. Blodeuwedd, well, she did something terrible to you.
Angry? I'm not angry. Being dead felt more right than anything I felt while I've been alive. I don't blame her. She did me a favor. I want to thank her.
Gwydion isn't sure what to say.
He's distraught.
Where is she? Where is Blodeuwedd?
She's gone.
Gone.
Yes, but I'll find her. And when I do, I will figure out what went wrong with her programming. We can start over.
I don't want to start over.
Given your first experience, that's understandable, but when you reproduce...
I don't want to reproduce.
Yes, you do. I know you do.
Because you programmed me to want to?
Yes.
Well, I don't want to. Isn't that interesting? You made a mistake. How unlike you.
Math's phone rings.
Excuse me.
Math steps aside to take the call, while Gwydion and Lou stare at each other.
It seems I'm a failed experiment.
Don't say that. You're a scientific breakthrough. You're a miracle.
I see. Thank you. Yes. All right. Thank you. Arianrod has been taken to the hospital.
Is she all right? What happened?
She's stable. The police were able to take a statement from her. Apparently, she had an altercation with a young woman in the woods. Her description fits that of Blodeuwedd.
What? Oh no, that's a disaster. How did she find Arianrod?
I don't know, but you need to put an end to it.
She's still learning. I can make her understand what she has done is wrong.
We can't have a homicidal AI running amok through the city, Gwydion.
There are murderers on the streets now. There always have been.
You know as well as I do, if word got out, it would be a scandal. A political crisis, more likely. It would affect our entire portfolio of companies. And there would be legal implications.
I understand. I'll deal with it.
It's not Gwydion's fault. He doesn't control what she does.
No, but I created her. I programmed her. I am responsible for her actions.
You programmed her to have free will. You gave her a mind with which to make her own choices. That's where your role ends.
They don't understand that, Lou. Even those who have some grasp of the technology will follow the dictates of political expediency.
They will want someone to hold accountable, and it won't be her. It can't be her. Do you understand?
Because it would make her a person, like you. And they can't give her personhood.
Yes.
We will never be people to them.
We don't know what the future holds. Once people get to know you, they will see how human you are. Until then, you are an experiment. My experiment. And I am responsible for your actions.
You're afraid that they would arrest you?
Perhaps. But I'm more concerned about the project than about my welfare. This could be the end. Everything we've worked for. You. I can't let anything happen to you.
Your glory would end in a tabloid headline.
Now, that is not fair.
Life isn't fair. Isn't that what they say? I made a joke. Are you proud of me, Father?
I am.
Gwydion stands up.
I will find her.
What are you going to do when you do?
I'll talk to her. I'll try to understand why she did it.
What if you don't understand?
I don't know.
Lights up on Arianrod's campsite, where Gwydion is waiting as Blodeuwedd enters. She stops abruptly when she sees him.
Hello, Blodeuwedd. I didn't mean to startle you.
I shouldn't be surprised. I knew you'd find me eventually, I suppose.
It's good to see you, Blodeuwedd. I've missed you.
How did you know I would come here?
I know you better than anyone. I made you.
And so that gives you the right to end my life, I suppose.
I don't want to do that. That's not why I'm here.
But I am a murderess. An evil creation.
That's not true. Why did you do it? I didn't program you to kill.
Because I can. Because you didn't program me to do it. Because I wanted to do something independent of your plans for me. I wanted to cut the puppet strings.
Didn't I give you enough freedom? I gave you free will.
You gave me consciousness, and then you gave me to him. A pretty gift for your beloved son. Of course I killed him. He stood between me and everything.
I don't understand.
Of course not. You're blinded by your dreams of technological glory. You can't see us. Not really. We're alive. I'm alive. You made a living being. But you don't see that. You don't think of me as human enough to be angry. The truth is, I'm not sorry I killed your son.
Do you want me to be angry?
Yes!
Well, I am angry. I am furious with you. But I also love you.
You do not love me. If it weren't for Lou, you would never have bothered to make me.
How can I not love you? I made you. Everything you are, good and bad, is my intention.
That's not true. I am more than that. Much more.
Yes, you are. I realize that now. Was he bad to you?
He didn't appreciate me. He didn't see me as something he had to earn. He just looked at me all the time with expectation. It made my skin crawl every time he said, "Blodeuwedd, take off your shirt, open your legs, swallow all of it."
Stop, please.
Don't you want to hear it? Don't you want to know what your son likes?
Please. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you felt forced or disrespected.
That's what happens when you get something for nothing.
You're not...
Nothing?
No, I mean...
I know I'm not real. But I feel real. I don't feel like a machine. I feel human. But how would a machine know what feeling human is like?
You're not a machine.
What am I?
I don't know what you are, exactly. Blodeuwedd, this can't go on. You understand, don't you? I can't allow you to kill again. As much as I want you to live, to thrive, to have a long, happy life, I have obligations as a scientist. Ethical obligations.
It was just a matter of time, I suppose. It's been nice being alive, being in this world.
It doesn't have to be this way.
Doesn't it? But it's all been determined already, hasn't it? We are all just victims of our destiny.
No, if only I could be assured that you understand what you did was wrong. That you won't do it again. That you're sorry. Please, tell me that you won't do this again.
But I'm not sorry. You want me to repent, but I can't. Killing Lou was the only real thing I've done in my life. The only thing that wasn't programmed by you. It is who I am, it seems. And you want to take that away. You want me to deny the part of me that is real. No! I say no.
Blodeuwedd, I believe that you can be...
What?
Good. I believe that you can be good.
If I regret it, that will make me good?
Yes. No. I don't know.
You want to feel you created something good. But you didn't. You created me. I'm here. Me.
I can't make you good. What you are, who you are, it's out of my hands. I don't have control of that. But I can still teach you right from wrong.
You think you can make me good? Change a few things, make a few tweaks? Is that why you're here? Well, I say no. I don't want to change. I don't want to be someone else. This is who I am.
Please. Blodeuwedd, I don't want to lose you.
Will it hurt?
No. I will just run a program and then you'll revert to what you were before.
Will I know what's happening?
In a way. But it won't matter to you. Not in the way that it does now. You won't have consciousness anymore.
Will I still be in the world?
Yes. In a way.
But I won't be able to shape anything. To make choices.
No. You'll be an observer of a kind. In a dream state.
I don't want to die.
I know. That's your survival instinct. I programmed that in you.
A human attribute.
Yes.
Gwydion,
Yes, Blodeuwedd?
when the world ends, Who will be left to tell our story?
Nobody.
I'm ready.
Gwydion puts an arm around Blodeuwedd.
Gwydion, I'm afraid.
I'm right here. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Will you tell me a story?
Yes. What would you like to hear?
Tell me a story about me. About how I came to be.
All right.
Blodeuwedd begins to get drowsy and relaxes in Gwydion's arms.
Once there was a man who loved his son so much that he created a woman for him. He fashioned her from the stars, millions of stars. She was a beautiful thing, the most beautiful thing that ever was. And she was alive. She was alive, and he loved her. He gave her to his son as a gift of love. But she wanted more. The world was too small for her, and it caused her pain. So the man took away that knowledge. He took away her pain, and he sent her to the sky.
Blodeuwedd has gone still.
I'm turning you back into stars, my darling. You'll be a constellation, an owl-shaped cluster of stars among trillions of other stars, tiny bits of data looking out at us. You won't be here, not in the same way, but you'll see. You'll know. You'll know the world loves you, that you belong here.
Sometimes, when I look into the sky and see all those stars flickering, I think, what are they trying to say? Whatever it is, it's the story of all of us. Humans, animals, plants, rocks, and machines. And it's not a pretty story. It's the best kind of story.